What's up, my fellow airsofters? How have you guys been? I've been dropping bare content, I've been getting feedback, so I'm trying to switch up content for you guys. It is very hot, so by why I'm in shorts today, you're probably like, bro, I've never really seen him in shorts, but it's too hot to be doing up. I'm going for the angle, like the angle's bare off. Okay, boom, that's better. So yeah, and I've taken on board that feedback from you guys, and I've decided, as much as I love my gas blowbacks, and to be honest, till this day I will still talk good stuff, because I've officially, I can officially say I have finished this build. I think the only thing I'm due to add to this build is a HPA kit and a barrel extension, which again I'm trying to do research into if it's even worth doing, to be real. But yeah, so the bad boy looks how it looks. I'll do another video where I walk through. I think I already did a video where I will walk through it, but it operates now. There's not much for me to, I'll show you quickly, to do to it, to be real. And I've got a target set up, don't worry. Also, I should always wear eye protection. Safety first. Safety first, peoples. Safety first. So yeah. So I'm going to, I probably don't like the angle today, you know. I don't know what I'm going for my cam. Like, you guys have to let me know if it's just me bugging, but I feel like the angle's off today. Like, what's going on? That's better. So yeah, I don't know what it is. Something looks different today. I'm not quite sure what it is, but yeah. So we're gonna grab some eye protection quickly, and I'll show you. And to be honest, like, there's not much to be said about it. I put a Raven in there, which is not meant to be in there, so I had to make some adjustments to it. Decals. I've obviously greased up some parts, put some rubbers, so if you notice, you don't really get no shake. I went back to the basics scope. I don't know if you guys remember that first video I did where I went back to the basic one. I just feel like for indoors it works a lot better. I can just aim down sight quick, not focusing too heavy. Whereas with the other hemoglobin scope, I found that I was always like this as I was moving around, whereas you don't need to be like that. I need to be looking around, and then when it's time, aim, scope quick, and then shoot type thing. So this basically is my indoor kit. I put a laser on the front, which again, I've done a video on that, so if you haven't seen it, go check it out. I left the original sight from, I think the company is called CAA. I left that sight, so that should make sense. I don't know why it looks crazy today, man. I feel like the camera's not auto-focusing very well. Give me one sec, guys. I'm gonna have to change this. I need you guys to be able to see what I'm... Anyways, so we don't burn too much time. So yeah, and then I made some adjustments to the arm. That's because even one guy said that to me at my last game when I went to Splatoon. He was like, your one just looks different. So I basically made lots of adjustments. I've added this little arm thing just to give me a bit more leverage, so my hands are more closer to each other in terms of where they sit. If you notice, there's only a couple inches in between where they're positioned, for example, from top to bottom. And then yeah, obviously I put a battery pack on the side, so when my camera's on here, I can film and charge, no problems. Also, because my laser is Type-C USB, it gives me the ability to do that also. So yeah, we're not going to really focus on this today. This is not really what I wanted this video to be about. I just kind of wanted to show you guys, I've gone back to the setup I had probably like a month ago, where I changed the scope sight and stuff like that. I have left the laser, and if you notice, I don't really have much on the other side, but I felt like just keep it simple. For indoors locations or QBCs and stuff, you just really want simple and effective. You don't want to be doing too much. So yeah, I've also done some adjustments to the automatic. I'm going to show you quickly, just so you guys can see, like, the automatic is actually a mad thing right about now. So we'll pop that. You guys can see, I'm hoping. and I've got a target in my room. So I'm not gonna wake up my neighbors too much, but yeah, recommended. I think what I'll do is I'll do a separate video talking about this, but the whole point of why I took this up was because I was basically saying that I took you guys' advice and I went and got an AEG, which I think I spoke about recently anyway, because I just feel like it's good. It's all good having gas blowback pistols, but when you go to do outdoorsy type things like I do, which is what are they called, skirmishes, you find that you want something with a bit more range and something that, because don't get me wrong, this is a bad boy burner, but I just find that when at skirmishes, and bear with me guys because I suffer with terrible hay fever, so if I sound a bit funny, that's what it literally is. But yeah, I found that like other people just have the advantage over you, and it's just because they've got burners or ASGs or gas blowback pistols that really just have a larger range, whereas you do have to remember that as good as the CAA kit is, it is a pistol inside of a kit, which is why I was saying I think there would be one upgrade I'll do, and that's the barrel upgrade. But yeah, so I took you guys' advice. I decided to get my first AEG, and I went for the big bad boy company, SA Specna arms. I'll probably have to adjust the box just so it can be shown in this footage so you guys can see. I was so excited I ended up taking the gun out anyway, so I'll show you guys that shortly. Also want you guys to have a look at the box. It's quite cool, comes with like lots of display of all the models that they offer. Some of the main ones that kind of caught my attention were the SA-H02 WT. That one looks really, really cool. I'll show you guys in a sec. Where is it? The SA-H02 HT, which looked really cool also. There was one with a grenade launcher as well, the SA-H01. I didn't really like the body style. And what? I think those was the main ones that kind of caught my attention, to be real. And like I said, just so that you guys can see the box. Yeah. Quite a few models on there, trust me. It's worth looking at, because even for me, I was just like, oh, like this opens up my opinion to understand what they offer, the difference in between the products that they offer, etc, etc. Because I wanted something that was like mid-range, so I didn't want to spend too much money, and at the same time I didn't want something that was dirt cheap, so I was going to get back a rubbish type burner. And it's pretty cool because they've got like bare explanations on the box, and trust me, very, very useful stuff, because things that I wanted to ask, like how to remove my stock, stock spring, it shows you right there on the top how to change a stock spring, so I actually need to change that. Not that there's nothing wrong with the spring. Do you know what, maybe leave it, because I don't have an issue with the stock spring. I might change the stock though. I did have a look at a few stocks last night. So straight off the top, it comes with like some kind of booklet, which is the instruction manual. Again, it features some models on one side. It also features like rules, legislations, telling you if you open your gun, it will, pardon me, void your warranty and stuff like that. All that boring stuff basically that I'm sure you guys really don't want to know. Again, instructions, more instructions, which is pretty cool. And then I think it's pretty cool because it comes with that thing at the back, which is, if you wanted to, it's something you could kind of like cut off and stick up in your room as a poster, which is maybe something what I'll do over time to just build like a little atmosphere for you guys when I do these videos, because it would be nice to kind of have some armory stuff in the background. You kind of get what I'm trying to say, just to build the theme of the video. What else comes in here? Some stickers, pretty cool. Really, really cool. Again, I'll probably take some stuff off over time and stick them on my computer and my laptop and all these other things. And you know what? Maybe my boy was saying I should buy like a gun box carrier thing. Maybe I'll save these for that, because these are cool little stickers that could go on that box. So yeah. Then I'll show you this. So the box looks something like this. So the gun would obviously come in this main section. I've obviously taken it out, so there's no point me showing you that. You have the mag section. It normally comes with one mag. I'll show you that quickly, which is pretty cool. I've chose to not use this mag. It's pretty cool. It does make the gun look really realistic, and it's the same color as the gun, so that's pretty cool. Like you can see. Yeah. The only thing why I didn't want to use this, so I'll show you another thing. It comes with, in one of the compartments, a little key. And what this key does is it goes, where is it? In the side of your mag, and basically allows you to wind. So you see when you put your BBs in, that would make your BB system a lot tighter, and then therefore ready to shoot. The only thing why I chose not to use this, though I've kind of left it in the box, is I play a lot of on-field fast paced games. I don't really have the time to keep winding, because sometimes you'll forget, and that's when somebody's on you or shooting at you and you don't have time to duck, wind, and that's just long for me. And I will have to probably read the booklet just to see, but if I'm gonna have to use a winder on the field, this needs to be able to hold like 700 pellets. And maybe my expectations is too high, but it's the truth. It's like, if you want me to honestly take the key onto the field and wind, then realistically, yeah, this needs to hold like nearly 1,000 BBs, because anything less than that, what's the point? I could just go and buy another mag. Like most mags that look like this, they hold, well, it ranges. I've seen some that's like 70, some that's 100, some that's 120, some that's 150, and then I even see a guy at my last platoon game, funny enough, and he was saying that his one holds 300, something like that. And I was looking at the mag like, what, this little thing holds 300? So in theory, all you need is 3 of these and you've got almost 1,000 BBs on the field. So if that's the case, then maybe, but still me, I don't like it, because I just feel like it's an inconvenience on the field. So I'm gonna keep it safe. And then obviously you've got this like pull down bit where you can chuck your BBs straight in, and I believe that's why you have to wind it. So I've chose to go do without it, because I prefer the other, like the normal setup. I'm gonna show you guys some of the other mags that I've actually got for the gun. So yeah, I'm gonna keep this in there, but it's cool. Comes with a little Specna arms, kind of like the necklace string, which might not go over my head right now. Boom. So yeah, like you can see, it's pretty cool, pretty handy thing. I think that comes off as well. So if you wanted to leave it in the van, for example, I think it's good for what it is. But me, I knew straight off the top what I wanted, and I knew that the winding mag wasn't gonna work for me. So straight off the top, I went and bought some new mags, but which I will talk about shortly. It also has like another little compartment in there that says SA. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it properly, SA. And what does come in there is like 2 sights, but I've also put those sights on the gun, so there's no point showing you the box. What else is in here? It comes with a spring. What else is in there? Spring. I think that's it, yeah. It comes with a spring, which I still need to work out. I think this might be for the stock at the back of the gun, or it might be a barrel spring. So this I've got to confirm. Maybe you YouTubers can let me know if you know what it's for. But I believe it's for, I think I know why it's doing that focus thing, you know? Bear with me, guys. I think I now know what the answer to that question is. So hopefully we have a bit more luck now. Boom. Hopefully that's a bit better for you guys. Okay, so yeah, it comes with some spring, which I believe is a stock spring because of the size, but I might be wrong. Might be a barrel spring, which I'll leave in there. I believe this is the Airsoft place. One of my guys gave me the other day, and I'm not sure what this is. I believe it's to clean the barrel or to clear the barrel of the gun. So in case you have any damages or just to remove debris or stuff like that. So again, worth keeping, especially for cleaning sake. So yeah, I believe that's the box and that side of stuff. Give me a sec, I'm gonna show you guys the gun itself, which I pretty much like, because I feel like, yeah, as much as my CA kit is the thing, and as much as you can extend it, I'll do a little comparison in a second to show you guys. But size wise, there is quite a difference. Like, I'll show you briefly. So here is my bad boy. Just so you guys can see the full thing. So I've got a sock over it because it is loaded, just so you guys can actually see. So I've chose to leave like the raw barrel. It's quite a raw metal barrel in there, firm metal. The stock I've chose to put like a arm holder. I can't remember what these things are called for stability. I've gone for my YouTube, not eBay, but my YouTube camera tripod thing that goes on the side of the gun. So if any of you guys are like, what's that? It's basically where my GoPro sits, so that when I'm, like, for example, looking at the gun, the GoPro can face me. The sights, so I was telling you about the sights that come in the box. One of the sights that come in the box is this one at the front, which is pretty cool. I just think it's useful to be able to look down, straight down sight, and be able to aim. I'll just show you guys so you guys can see. I don't know if you guys can see the benefit of it through it. Let me see if that will help you guys out a bit. I'm trying to get a camera up to see what I see, which is a bit hard. Okay, you can see it there. You can see. If you look down sight, you can literally see. Move back the way. Yeah, you can see what it does at the end. And then a similar thing with, switch that off. Yeah, similar thing with the back one as well. I'm not sure if you guys can also see that. There's like a little circle that you can look through, and it might not seem like anything because it seems very small, but I can assure you, like, even me just looking down the barrel, I can see right at the end. And I've kind of put it on there because I feel like it's all good. It's all good to have, for example, my main hemoglobin scope, which I've spoken about in another video. So if you haven't seen that, go and check that. I don't want to focus too heavily on that today. But it's nice to have different types of ranges of sights and scopes. So for example, like when somebody's very, very far away and they're in a small target section and I'm trying to be very precise with aiming, it probably will be this back one because it has that really small circle. If you don't know, look on their website, you'll be able to see the sight I'm actually talking about. But it comes in a box. And then I think with things like sometimes just getting an overall picture of where somebody is, this comes in key because it's right at the end of the gun. So it's like, from my aim down the barrel, it's my main point of focus. And then I think, like I said, with the hemoglobin scope, it does what it's meant to do. I showed you guys that in another video where it's like, it just gives me basically the ring. Let me see if I can show you guys quick. The ring type aim, just making your life a lot more easier, which I saw at Splatoon the other day. Like, all three working together work so beautifully because it just gives me the chance to aim no matter how far the person is and have options because I've got 3 different types of aim systems. I also went for like a little, I can't remember what these things are called, but that's basically where I can buckle my gun into my chest bungee. But one thing I would say about that is, as good as it was, I felt like most of the day, because of where it's placed, if you look like at the whole lineage of the gun, if you look at where it's placed, you'll be able to see that it's like, it's right at the end So the weight, because this gun tends to be, I think that this gun is mid body heavy, because most of the parts are metal, if I'm correct. Like this middle section is metal. The holder, this thing right here, is plastic, some kind of ABS plastic. Same as this, some kind of ABS plastic. And then the rail itself, if I'm correct, I believe the rail is metal, just like this, solid metal. So it's like, it does come with a little weight, but compared to my CA kit, do you know what? Now I'm seeing it. Yeah, like probably, I would say it weighs a little bit more than my CA kit, and I would say that just because if you look at the length difference of the two, my CA is this one. Look at the length. Even if I'll show you quickly as well. Even if I extend out the stock, it still just isn't as tall. But that's because it's a full-blown rifle, so that goes back to what I'm saying to you about barrel length and aim and distance and all these things. It does make a difference. I literally see this. Don't get me wrong, I've been, since I started my channel, my CAA kit was my main burner, and it's probably like it will be my show burner of all time, because it was the first thing that I got, and I probably won't sell it. But you do have to upgrade in this sport, or you do at least have to buy clearly, so you have the right things for the right occasions. Like now I have an indoor setup. The CAA kit, which is finished, and then I've got this bad boy as my secondary. I've again made some adjustments to my Vosk. I put back the original Vosk mag in there. I put a barrel extension, which basically just amplifies the noise. Like if I was to shoot it right now, I'll show you quickly. It just sounds a lot more louder than it averagely would. And I find that the accuracy is slightly better with it. I don't know if that's just me, but so far over the last night, because I've only done that change for about a day or two, I found that the accuracy is a teeny bit better. It's like shot accurate. Like normally with the Vosk, it'd be like every 1 in 3 will be on point. I find that it's more like 2 out of 3, and sometimes you get 3 out of 3 depending on how filled the gas is. Sorry guys, hay fever. I'm trying to give you guys good content, but I'm fighting blocked nose, boy. Okay, boom. So back to the H02. So yes, this is the bad boy, the Specna Arms H02 that I was telling you guys about. To give you a quick look around the gun, like it's quite simple, to be real. Like you've got these top barrel bit, which is like the barrel ending, I believe. I can change that. I do have a silencer that can go on the gun. I've chosen not to have it on the gun today. I think maybe in a future video what I'll do is I'll show you guys the silencer on there, because it just makes, for me, it makes the gun a bit too long. If you notice that the gun is already quite long. I can't even fit it all in my camera, do you get it? But even lengthwise, like if you look, it's as tall as my upper body. Do you kind of get what I'm saying? So it's quite a good length gun, and even arm wise, I'll show you like next to the length of my arm. Do you get what I'm saying? It probably is the same length as my arm to my chest. So it is quite a big rifle. The weight isn't too bad, but like I said, I feel like it's mid heavy. The front wheel and the back stock isn't as heavy as that middle section. So I found that because my holder for my chest bungee is here, if you notice straight away, that's what I was getting. It's either that it was laying frontwards like that, or it was laying backwards like that, which is handy in some occasions, but I found that, say you're running around, it's like, it was just very wobbly and uncertain. So I think what I will have to do is either just do some more research and look into connectors for the bungee, just so that I could maybe have it a bit more centered, or maybe you could get 2. So maybe put this, because I saw it when I was looking for bungees originally, like people had what do you call them, like side, like, you know, like how you'd have like a bag that goes across you, but it basically holds, it's basically one of those that go across you, but it holds your gun. So it would hold the gun from like 2 angles, like say this angle and say that angle, or maybe even somewhere a bit closer to maybe like there, which means that you see the gun would more hang on the bungee. so as you move it would stay balanced. So I think long term that's something I'll definitely look into. Key things to show you on it. Like, I like this burner. I think it's such a really nice burner, especially for my first AG. It's affordable. It's so accurate, bruv. It's so for the price. I feel like it's so good. The only adjustments I would make over time maybe is to the gearbox, because there is some later guns that are coming out like this year have come out last year, and you'll find that they gearbox shoots slightly faster than this one, and it's just because you have to remember I believe this gun came out in 2017. That's when the H02 was launched. Whereas half the guns I'm talking about, like the LT35 from Lancia and stuff like that, these are guns that came up last year or the year before or 2020. So it's like they are bound to have newer gearboxes. So that's something to keep in mind. However, if you know what you're doing, you'll have fun and you dominate still, because there was a guy on the field who, like I'm saying, he had a gun which had a later gearbox, and I could just hear it. Every time I would shoot, it would be like, even on auto, you know, it would be like tap, 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 tap. But when he would shoot, it would go da 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 da, and it's not by much, but sometimes it's the difference between ducking and getting caught and ducking and missing the BB. So I think for me, one thing I did say was, if I end up keeping this gun more than 6 months, I would definitely change that gearbox, because when I looked online, it was like, I think it was 130 they wanted for the gearbox upgrade. And I think, you see, because it's such a good build gun, it would be worth the upgrade. It's reliable. The battery lasted me the whole day. I didn't have to change my battery once. One thing I would say, if you guys are thinking of purchasing this burner, is you want to buy a battery, because it doesn't come with one. Luckily, I bought this one second hand from one of my friends, so it came with a battery. But you guys do want to buy a battery, and even me, I'm still gonna go and buy a backup battery, because he's obviously had the gun for some time, right? So he would have wear and tear the battery. So that's something else to keep in mind. Things that I can show you. So obviously you have a mag release right here. I'm not sure if it's a wise idea for me to take it out right now. I'll mag release it before, well, I'll do it now quickly. It shouldn't be too much harm. So like you can see, you just literally click the mag release like I'm doing right now. I've just clicked it. Let me actually show you guys clearly. So I'm gonna click the mag release. Mag release gets clicked, and then I can pop it out. Yeah. I find that when you do that, some will eject, like you just see happen, because it's normally like you're hearing right now. Some will eject, and it's just because normally it's holding. Yeah, now it's empty. Normally it's holding about 3-4 BBs in the barrel chamber. So do keep that in mind every time you do mag release, and I'll show you one more time, just so you guys are aware you don't do damage to your gun. So I have to hold this and show you guys. So I'm gonna click the mag release button. You know, you guys can actually see it, so it should be alright. I'm gonna click the mag release button right there, and that's gonna come out. Try and do this. Don't follow me and do it standing like this. I'm only doing it like this because I'm doing a video for you guys. If I weren't doing a video, I'd be holding the gun like this, and like you can see, some BBs have fallen out, and that's because, like I said, there just tends to be some sat in that bottom chamber of the pistol off the rifle, and that's just the way the system's set up. So if you see some fall out, at first when I used to see it happen, I used to think, rather I've broken it, or have I broken the barrel? But nah, don't panic guys, it's literally meant to happen. So that's that. When inserting, see that click? If you notice I can't pull it now, you do want that click. Mags. So yeah, I showed you what the original mag looks like, which is a black one, but I've chosen not to go for that. I've chosen to go for this one because it doesn't, if you notice on both sides, it doesn't have no windy bit, and each mag holds 120. So I've got 3 of these mags, that's what, 360. So when I take all 3 out into a game, trust me, I think majority, say I played 6 games last time I went Splatoon. I went Splatoon Sunday gone. Yeah, Sunday gone. And say I played 6 or 7 games throughout the whole day. There was only 1 game where my bullets finished. And it was because I didn't load my mags very well. I had like half filled them and then went out, so I had like 60 in each. But when they're full at 120, you're fine. The only thing is, I did end up going for an upgrade. I bought an upgrade one as well, just because I feel like the grade doesn't really match the gun. And yeah, as much as I could spray paint it, which is what I think I would do over time, just spray paint them so they match the exterior of the gun, or they make the gun look a bit cool. I just don't like how they look, if I'm to be honest. So I ended up going for this bad boy, which funny enough is now is a good time to talk about. So I'll show you quickly. Similar setup, it has no winder, which just makes your life easier. It's just a spring in there, so you take it out quickly. So I'll show you guys. So there's a spring obviously holding in there, and if you can see, the BBs are like double stacked in like a rotary format. If I'm correct, I believe this is 150 rounds, if I'm correct. Yeah, I believe it's 150 rounds. I might be wrong, but I believe it's 150. You can just see it. For me, it looks better. It looks more realistic. I'll show you guys so you can see. This looks more realistic overall. There's no wind there as well. Plus, it was just reliable. I felt like when using these, they were a bit hit and miss. Like sometimes you would be shooting and no BBs is coming out, but when you take it out, there's BBs still in the inside, and I think that's probably because the springs are damaged in these where they've been used over time by my boy. So I ended up going for just some new ones, because there's no harm in having a new mag or two, so I'm probably gonna buy like 2 more of these and just keep these as my backup ones for, say I'm trying to just cycle the gun, or say I'm just trying to warm up, or say I'm at the firing range. And you know I'm trying to say, like, I'll probably use those mags for that. Or I'll just use them as until I buy my replacements, if that makes sense. So yeah, so that's that. This one, on the other hand, I want to give you some feedback on it quickly, is a banging mag. It's by a company called New Rapport, and it's called the AEG Mid Cap mag. So I'm definitely gonna need to buy another one, because highly recommended. I used this probably 3 games out of the 7 that I played, and trust me, compared to these mid, that's a mid cap. I think the one that I've got there is a low cap. I need to try high cap. So yeah, defo recommended. Defo recommended, and it was affordable. It was only like 12 quid. So I was like, what? For 12 quid? I should have just bought 3, but I have to pace myself, right? It's an expensive sport. But so yeah, things that I can show you. I've showed you that, how to mag release. Okay, so you have a hop up system in the barrel right here. So if you notice, when you pull that thing, the hop up shows itself just right there, like you can see. It shows itself when I pull back on that, and then it will close itself. You can also close this barrel again yourself, which I tried to keep it closed, save debris going in there. But and the moment you want to open it again, literally, and that will open it. I normally only pull this when I'm trying to adjust things like my hop up, because obviously that's how you adjust where your BBs are actually flying to and from. So keep that in mind. But I try to more time just leave it locked, because like I said, debris. What else? So we have, right, oh yeah, and there is a double way of mag releasing. You can use this one as well, I believe. I try not to use it because it's so easy to press, and you don't always want your mag falling out. It's the most embarrassing thing. You're running, and a mag drops out. So yeah. Plus, you just don't know, like, a sight could be amazing. Like on Sunday, I lost an extendo mag for my gas gun, and it's literally because, again, I was running, and the mag was in the gun, and it was in my holster. So it looks like in between the impact of me running, it's fell out and nobody's picked it up and given it back to me. So do be careful, because normally it's not even the sight's problem or the sight's fault. It's normally stealing people who have come, because Splatoon are normally very, very, very good at handing back your stuff in. So I give them that. What else? But I never got that mag back, which I'm assuming somebody just saw it and thought, wow, free mag, as I saved myself 40 quid. So I hear it. But be a gentleman and hand people shit back in, because I lost another mag and that mag came back, but it was a small mag, so I'm guessing they didn't want that one. But what else? I think those are the main things, you know. Obviously there's other things you can do, like I'll show you quickly. So auto, right now the gun's on safety, as you can see, which is directly across there, but you can rotate this to single shot and then auto. Yeah, so you can see single shot again and then safe, single shot and then auto, which I'll flick on and show you guys shortly, because I wanted to make sure. But and which it's pretty good. The only thing I found with this machine was when sometimes you're in game and because the switch is so easily flickable and it's only flickable from one side, sometimes you flicked it into auto and you haven't clocked until you press the trigger. But it is pretty easy to catch yourself because you can hear the gun firing different. There's normally a break in between each shot if it's on single, whereas on auto, from you tap it you can just hear it go da 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 da, but you'll hear it as I do it anyway. So yeah, so that's that. Yeah, I think for the most part that's the most important things in terms of use of the gun, if you want to make sense of that. Overall use, obviously if you want to adjust the stock, so for me I tend to like the stock quite short because it allows me to get in and out of locations very quickly, whereas with a longer stock which you can adjust, so there's like a button right under here, you just press it and then the stock will adjust, and then it will show you what level you're at because it has numbers. Where is it? Numbers along the middle right here, so like 1, 2, 3, and it shows you I'm at level 5, whereas if I press it again I'm at level 3. I don't know if you guys can see that, 3, and then if I press it again I'm at level 1. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys can see that. So yeah, no harm with using level 5 because even level 5 is still pretty good, but I'd more use level 5 like say I was outdoors and the person is miles away and we're more trying to push the enemy back, then yeah, that's because I've got time to get comfortable and camp somewhere, for example. Whereas if we're in active gameplay where I need to run, move, duck, hide, maneuver, hit one guy here and hit another guy there, then in theory the stock will always be a bit lower because then I have that ability. Even without the gun touching my chest. So I think one thing I do need to get used to is just the weight of the gun, because like I said, it's mid heavy, whereas I'm so used to this gun which is very front heavy or top heavy. So it's like once your mag's in it, it balances it out because now you've got top and bottom heavy. So you're aware of it, plus it's quite small and compact, the CAA kit, so it's like it can get away with its weight, whereas with this it's a lot more bulkier feel. Do you kind of get what I'm saying? So you really do have to, you see I've just tucked the mag thing by accident, but you see how easy it is to do and drop the mag. So simple to do, you know. Easy mistake as well. So don't ever beat yourself up, because even me, like I've done this a couple times since I have the burner and I've had to kind of just remind myself, just chill bro, you've had the burner for like 2 days, you're gonna make mistakes. So that's that. So I think that was the main stuff. Then lastly, obviously this is not gas powered, so we're gonna need some way to get the power into it for us to be able to use it, right? And for this, what I am gonna do is just chuck my barrel sock back on just for safety purposes. Even though I've got my glasses on, I don't have face masks and my poor teeth, right? So yeah, so what was I doing? Okay, battery. So that's that. So it's quite simple. You just spin this, literally spin this. You notice it spins. Once it gets about midway, you can pop this off. Yeah, pop that to one side. Now if you look down in the stock, that's your battery compartment. I've already got my batteries in there, so I'm just gonna pull this out for you just so you can see. So what it is what I've got is a Specna arms, and I'm not sure because I don't believe this comes with a battery. My boy didn't tell me it comes with the battery, so I'm gonna assume it doesn't come with a battery, guys. If yours comes with a battery, then great. 12 milliamp, 7.4 val or volts, and it's quite simple, like how to get that sorted. So what I tried to do is, because you're probably like, how do you connect it? So hopefully this is explanatory and you can see. So what you should have is this little wire here. What this wire is the way that your gun is going to collect energy from the outside. What energy comes in from the outside is your battery, obviously. So what I try to do is, if you notice there's like these two little nostrils, I try to take these two bits and chuck them in those two nostrils. So they're out the way first and foremost, yeah? Then what I try to do is, you see this thing that's connected to my battery, that's obviously what's meant to be connected to this green thing up here. So you obviously want to line those up and just make sure that it's the right way up, because obviously there's only one way that it will snap on. When it snaps on, you hear it click. So now you can see they're officially connected. I don't know if you can see that. They're actually connected now. Don't stuff it down, because my boy saw me stuffing it down. I just want to show you quickly. So I'm going to disconnect this quickly, but I'm doing it just to show you something, yeah? So I'm going to pull that out. If you look right in the middle of this, you have like these little slots right there, and then there's one on the opposite side. Yeah, those are slots where the wire can feed through to go up, and that will stop. It will stop you damaging your wire. So you see, when you put that thing back on and you turn it, it won't cut into your wire, because your wire should be running through. Where is it? One slot is there. I don't know if you can see it right there, and one is on the opposite side, right in the middle. Yeah, you run your wires through that slot. Yeah, and I'm gonna do it quickly and show you guys, so you know what it's meant to look like. I'm gonna do this quickly for you and show you afterwards what it should look like. So again, I pop them down into those two nostrils. I feed those wires. So essentially what I'm doing right now is I'm just feeding those wires out the way into that slot on both sides, just to make sure. Yeah, so what you should end up with is something that looks something like this. I don't know if you guys can see that. And what that essentially is all my wires are actually, you can't really see it good though. So I'm gonna show you guys quickly. So what I essentially have here is everything is on inside. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, you can. Okay, so everything now is inside. The only thing that's actually hanging out, let me do it clearly so you guys can actually see. I want this video to actually be able to help you guys. Okay, I think that should work. So if you notice, the only thing that's now hanging out is the wire that connects the power to pull into the gun, and then the battery wire itself. You want to reconnect those like I showed you before, so make sure they're connected. There's only one way they'll snap on. I would explain it a bit better, but it's so hard to explain it on YouTube. I'd actually have to show you, because it has like a H on one side. I don't know if that's going to show up on the camera. Can you see that H? That's the side that you want to snap on the top cap bit. Yeah, so we're gonna snap those two in. Make sure it snaps on though, and don't tug too hard at your other wires. So now they're connected. Now what I did prior was I used those two gaps that I was telling you about. So if you notice that wire is hanging through that gap right there, can you see it? It's actually going through that gap, and then on this side that wire is going through that. That just stops, like I said, when you chuck that thing back on, stops your wires from getting cut off. Now another thing, my boy showed me this trick. Just to tuck your wires, don't force them in. There's no need to force them in. Don't ever force them in, because that's how you do damage as well. You're gonna click this thing right at the bottom again, and you're gonna extend. Do it slowly, 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 so you're not forcing anything. And what that's gonna do is give you more barrel room in your stock. Now if you notice, as I've dragged it out, what it's done is it's pulled my battery naturally on the inside, and what I like to do is I like to just tuck it down, tuck it down, tuck it down. So what you end up is with something like this. It's not perfect, but it's clean, because if you notice, one wire is going through that hole, and then I'm not sure if you can see very well, but the other black wire is going through the other hole. So the moment that I essentially, and if you notice, it's clear, I can rub my hand and I'm not actually grazing none of the wires. So it means that the moment I chuck this thing back on, I'm gonna get it right. But this can be so complicated at times. So you wanna chuck that back on, and it means that the moment I turn it back in, if you notice, I haven't cut none of my wires, and I'll spin it again and show you, none of my wires are being cut because they've been slot into those slots. Yeah? Same with the bottom, no wires getting cut because they've been slot into their right actual slots. Yeah? So now my gun is receiving power because it's plugged up, and that's closed safely and out the way. And then if you now want, like me, you want to make your butt smaller, you can. Boom, which I've just done. So it's smaller. Or your stock, should I say, not your butt. And then now my gun officially has power. One thing I will say to you is always remember if you've plugged in the battery, because you don't want to leave your battery in overnight. You'll do damage to your gearbox as well as your gun as well as your battery itself. So always remember to take out or unplug your battery every use of the gun. Yeah? So I'm going to show you quickly. That goes in there. I'm going to remove our sock. I'm going to just flick that off safety for you and put it into single shot. And then we're going to have a bit of fun. Flick on my side. So I'm going to just do some single shots for you guys as well, yeah? The thing I will say about this is so accurate and it's so consistent. The turnover is very, like, the moment you can see anyway, as I click my trigger, let me aim it at my target, it's ready to go again, Gearbox is really good. And that's the same with auto as well. Like, it's one thing I will say is really accurate. I did have to put 2.5s in there, and I would like to maybe, oh pardon me, I would in my next game like to test 2.8s in there just to see the difference in the shot that I get. But straight off the top, recommended, because like I said, for the price it was very shocking. Like, I used my friend's £500 gun, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I still felt like this was the better of the two, and this is the cheaper one. This is a £200 gun. So it kind of gets to show you the difference in between spending budgets and why not sometimes to spend too much. But yeah, then I'm gonna flick it on auto for you guys quickly, and we'll show you some auto. So again, spin it one more time onto that last function. Then aim again. Because I want you guys to be able to see. Because it's quite a long, if you notice, like such a long gun. I can't even get it into one whole shot. But you get it? Very reliable. And it sounds like I'm out. Oh no, I'm not. Okay, yeah. Now I'm out. Yeah, I could hear that. But yeah, and how you know you're out is because obviously there's no BBs there. So yeah, let me flip that back onto auto or onto safety. So yeah, like overall, I'm not gonna lie to you, this one was probably more heavily anticipated on the channel than my CAA kit. I'm not gonna lie to you, that's how much build up there was for this one, and I feel like I'm glad it was like that, because it gave me the chance to excite myself as well as you guys, as well as just prep myself for the next stage of the journey. Because I feel like, as much as I could have bought a gas blowback pistol, and I probably not pistol, a gas blowback rifle, and knowing me, I probably will still go and buy one. It's like, for me, I can see the benefits of having an AEG, as well as I just think it's good for content. Like, I can see my pellets a lot more clearer to some degree. Some could say they are more reliable than gas guns, because you're not depending on weather to get a certain type of shot accuracy, like depending on what type of gas you're using, like green gas, red gas, stuff like that. So I'd say for reliability overall, this would win for me. The only thing I would say about it is I don't think I've had the gun long enough to score it. That's the one thing I would say. I played with it quite a few times in games, so I feel like I could give it a game rank, and for me, game rank would probably be like 7.5, 8, and I say that just because I feel like it's a good gun, it's accurate, it's a good all-round, it's a good starter gun, as well as it's something that a pro could use and appreciate. The only thing I would say why I've given it a slightly lower score is like the gearbox, because like I said, I can hear, at one point I was in combat with a fellow, opposition, if you want to put it that way, and it's like he was probably like 100 meters away from me. He was behind a piece of wood, I was behind a piece of wood, and it's like every time I would bring the gun up and aim, I'd have it on auto, I'd be slap, 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 and like you could just hear my gearbox. It was working and it's nice, but you could hear every time I took cover and you hear him go slap, 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 you could just hear the way it was beating. He was getting like 1 or 2 pellets out more than me, which kind of showed me, in a situation, for example, where maybe the person isn't trained, they would lose because they've got my gun, whereas with his gun, you could give his gun maybe to a beginner and they would have that bit more leverage over you just because of the fire rate with the actual gun. So yeah, I would give it like an 8.5. Sorry guys, hay fever. 8.5, and that's just basically because of fire rate and the quality of the mag it came with. Like, I think that's appalling that you want me to be on a field, a game field, and be spinning a key. What was you thinking, Specna Arms? And maybe that's a normal thing for these types of guns. I've heard this on a few guns. Sorry guys, probably think I'm picking my nose, but now I've got to de-block my nose so I can actually continue talking and breathe. But yeah, so for me, I reckon I will keep this gun for maybe about a year or 2. I think this is probably one of the guns that I probably won't sell. And if I do sell it, I would have to find another gun that's as good and exactly the same thing. So like an M4 type gun, because this is basically an M4, if I'm correct. Yeah, it's an M4. It's got the barrel cover rail. It's got the same hop up type thing. You get what I'm saying? Where the mag sits, the holder, even the switch system is very much the same. Yeah, I would basically say this is an M4. If you guys think different, you can tell me. But yeah, so overall, banging gun. I would recommend it. And like I said, if you're gonna go be like me and go for the upgrade mag, I just think I'll show you what it looks like. Oh, and you see, it just fits so well. Like, it was a good investment. Look at it. Look at it. I could already see some decaling. Like, I want to put ASSO here. I wanted to put something on the mags just to give it a cool look, but I'm still not sure what that's gonna be yet. I might just put tape, electric tape, so I know how much, what each mag is. Yeah, man, I think I'm gonna have to live with this one for like a week or 2, because like I said, it's a banging burner. Like, look at it, G. Like, look at it. It's just so beautiful, especially with the black mag in there. Like, it just does its job. So yeah, so I got nothing to complain about with this one. Like, I actually really like it. You know what I'm saying? Really like it. Yeah, man. So far so good. I have nothing to complain about this one. Like I said, you can hear the auto it does its thing, bro. And I feel like one thing I will say about this compared to, like, say for example, my gas pistol is like, I feel like with auto, I have a bit more control with this thing, whereas, don't get me wrong, the other gun, it was sick. It is sick. My conversion kit is sick. I'm not gonna, I told you guys the faults with it, I told you guys the good bits with it, right? But I just feel like there's more control over the automatic function with this one. It's like, I'll show you again quickly, like every time I tap auto, the moment I stop, it stops. With that, I feel like there's always a bit more gas releasing just before or after the shot. It can feel a bit more prematured compared to this one. So for me, yeah, it was definitely a good investment. Plus, I just feel like it looks good in the hand, like, you know what I'm saying? Plus, it's my official first rifle, so that's another cool thing. Yeah, like, I like it, I love it. You know what I'm saying? I will say I am looking at potentially changing a few things. Like, I'd love to take off the rail and maybe spray the rail a certain color, but I'm like, oh, maybe am I going too crazy? You know what I'm saying? Because maybe I don't need a different color rail, but I'll see it. What I might even do is make it tanned. So make like my stock tan and my rail tan, and maybe even this tan, and just have the rest of the gun black. So it's like a black and tan gun, which I think works. But sometimes, depending on where you're playing with it, can make you an easy target because people can see you. So that's something I'm also trying to keep in mind when doing things to the guns. But yeah, man, like I said, 8.5, yeah, man. Maybe over time my ratings will be harder. It will be harder for a gun to get 7.58 out of me, but I'm still at the part of the journey where I'm enjoying a gun. Like, I can see that if I was to drop this gun like 15-20 times, I'd probably break it, because you can just feel like certain bits are not as tight together as they should be. But I think what I'll do over the next couple of weeks is like just watch some YouTube videos and just understand how each part of the gun breaks down. Maybe even take off things like my rail and see, because I'm sure where there's a will, there's a way. Like even my stock, do you get what I'm saying? There's a bit of shake, like it could be tighter, I'm sure, but it's like the CAA kit. When I first got it, I had to have it for a little period to find what I liked, what I didn't like, so I know what I wanted to do to it. So I think it's just going to be the same thing. I'm going to have the gun for a little bit, see the problems I have with it, see what I like from what I don't like, and then depending on what I like and what I don't like, I make adjustments. But so far so good, man. That's my SA, my Specna arms, H02. And I've obviously built it up to look like how I want my gun to look. So if you're like, oh, what about that? Why is that way? It's how I want it. And that's the important thing, because me, that's having to use it. So yeah, that's my H02. And I've been telling you guys about this one, so I think it's nice to finally bring it on the channel and actually show you guys. I only collected it from the guy on Sunday, I think it was. Yeah, at the game I collected it from him. So come on, man, I gotta enjoy my new gun. Plus it just takes me from being an indoor close contact player to actually being somebody who actively plays outdoors, and I do skirmishes quite a bit now. So yeah, bit by bit I'm building a little skirmish name for myself, if that makes sense. So yeah, man, it should be cool. Plus I've got some content dropping about that skirmish day that I'm actually talking about, so keep it locked and you shall see it. But yeah, man, like I said, that's the Specna Arm H02. And like and share and subscribe and invest if you feel like this would do some stuff for you. For me, it's doing bits, so it's where currently it's my favorite AG, and that says something. So yeah, until we next meet, guys. Yeah. I actually love it, man. You know what I'm saying? I need to go firing range with it and just see what's my aim like with it. So yeah, man, until we next meet, guys.